a child with a man who's financially stable but won't be in the child's life, or with a broke man who will be present in the child's life?
Am I getting child support?
I take the financially stable. They're financially. Child support, financially stable.
Give me the one that's not in the child's like, we good, we got the money, we good.
He can pay the bills and help take care of them.
Okay.
They don't gotta be.
If you already live by yourself and you move in and you move your partner in with you, you shouldn't be asking them for 50% of the rent. And that goes vice versa, yeah, because you've been doing it already, so you can cover it on your own. You just want them to be there now to what, cut half your expenses?
Wait,
like,
you mean
no.
like if a girl moves in with a guy, he shouldn't ask her to pay half?
Yeah, you shouldn't be asking.
I feel like as a man, you shouldn't. Ooh, they don't like when you say as a man. I kind of feel like as a man, like as a man, you should feel a little crazy asking your woman for half the rent, unless you really going through financial hardships and you really need the help. That's different. But just because the girl probably lived at home with her mom and didn't pay rent, and you just moved that girl out her mother's house to come help you pay your bills.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going back to my mother's house. You crazy.
If you're a full duty active father, why am I still paying child support? Like, what justifies a court to say this man has to pay child support? Like, if I'm there every day or every other, like, why do I gotta pay child support?
I think, see, me with the child support thing, I feel like I don't see why men have an issue with child support. If you like, that is just money you're gonna give anyway. Why do you have an issue with it just being something you do actively all the time? Why is that a problem?
Because, like I said earlier, women drag it. You want me to spend extra money on things that don't need like money for.
If the child is not in your care 100%, then you should be willing to give the mom money. If the child is with you 50%, let's say you have the child, y'all do every other week, then that's fair. I feel like if anything, you should have the agreement that this week I'm gonna have the child, I don't give you anything. That week I give you something, just because the child is with you that week, and when the child's not with you, you give her something. That's how I look at it. But I don't see why men make it such a huge deal to pay child support.
And this may be an unpopular opinion, and y'all might not like me for saying this, but I don't know. I think I'm too selfish to have kids. And I love seeing other women with kids. I love watching kids, but I have to give them back. Like, I just can't keep a kid forever. Like, the sacrifices parents make, I don't see myself making those same sacrifices. And it's really, truly very unfortunate, because I would love to have kids. I'm just a very selfish person, and I'm aware of that at my age. Like, I'm so selfish. Like, bringing kids into my selfishness and my dynamic is just really not gonna fit, and it is truly a disservice to kids. And that's really why I don't see myself having any. Like, maybe one day along the line I may like be a little bit more unselfish and start thinking about like other people more than myself. But like right now, I just cannot think about anybody more than me. Like, I'm like the prime matter in my life right now, like in the world. To myself, it's just me. And I'm fully aware, with me being so selfish how I am, I would not be a good mother. Like, yeah, I can watch kids, but my time, I had to get a kid back. And it's like, if I had a kid, I can't, where am I going to give the kid to? I have to get, this is my kid, you know what I'm saying? But like, it just won't go well. It really would not.
Your bills and what? Because I know that just ain't it.
I don't know, my definition.
So you just want your bills paid and just to live your life and go on trips?
Yes.
That's how you want your life to go?
Honestly, yes. Everything else I take care of. I pay my own bills too, though. But when you fucking with me, pay my bills so that I can use my money for my business and every shit I got going.
A man ever give you ding-a-ling so trash you think to yourself, I'm gonna send him a cash app request. Yeah. I don't even sound poom poom, but guess what, baby boy? You got to pay for this. You got to pay for this, because if you think I waited all that time for that and that's what you giving me, that's what you giving me? You the only one who's getting pleasure here? No, then you got to pay me. Pay me for my time. Pay me. This is a contract that we have entered into, okay? I fulfilled my part of it. You ain't fulfill yours? In the words of Young Miami Asians 3:16, thy shall pay for every poom poom thou does not plays. Period. So yeah, run me my coin.
Scary. Why even open your legs up to a guy that you feel that's going to trap you? And they see these women over and over again who was in Hollywood, who had money, who had the guys that they worship and they drool over, and they're unhappy. They're miserable. Look at Halle Berry, 60 years old on the internet, still talking about her buns. Lisa Ray was the princess or the queen of some fucking Turks and Caicos, and miserable. Is women still out here selling the box, wanting to be actress mattress for the love of money, and they see these women get money and they're still miserable. These women trap NBA players, trap niggas for men for money, and still miserable. Nobody's looking at these people are getting the money. These women are getting with the guys with money and still miserable. They not thinking about their children. They not thinking about loving, caring. I remember, you know, a lot of the old women say she used to show love, which they love language, was cooking, was baking. These women don't want to do anything for anybody. When you see how selfish, and you can ask anybody that see how selfish teenage women are, now that is the norm for grown women. It's all about me, my happiness. They don't care nothing about their children. They leave their children with anybody. How many times we seen women leave their children at home just to go on vacation or run off with a buster ass ninja? And that don't just go for black women. All these women be doing this, bro. I just need a mental break. And you see all these women complaining and want to do it on themselves. And a lot of these women fought for the right to destroy the American nuclear family model. But then a lot of they talking points, they talk about the patriarchy sucks. But then you want a man to provide and protect. That's the patriarchy. You want a man to pay all the bills. That's the patriarchy. Usually when you start to hear most of these women describe what they want in a man, it's a walking bank. And when they get a walking bank, then they still complain about it. I say this all the time. You literally can do exactly what a woman tell you to do and still do it, and still the relationship will fail. Whether it's coworker to coworker, peer to peer, father to daughter, brother to sister, son to mother, husband to wife, prostitute to John. You can do exactly what a chick say to the T, and you're still going to lose about 90% of the time. The worship of money that they have. When you start to create a human being to leverage money, tell me what's more demonic than that. When you sit there and you talk about abort mission, when you could have just got your tubes tied. They always telling dudes, get your tubes tied. Women have more sex than men. Men bodies will not come nowhere near collectively in proximity of you, in the proximity of anywhere else in this world. God's body count would nowhere reach the monumental numbers that these women have. I remember watching the documentary, it was somewhere in the Middle East. Me and my mom was watching it when I was a teenager, probably a kid. And these women would, like when their husband has sex with them, they want to see blood, and they would risk their lives just, and have sex before they married. And these women had a program where they sewed their hymen back up, so when their husband, stuck it, he would see blood or feel the cherry pop. Look, I'm telling you, this is a women as a collective. Even though they know they can go to the upper room, get stoned for being a whore, they risk their life. They risk their lives. They risk their lives for some dick. They risk their lives for dick. They don't care. A lot of these women, there was a video where this very religious dude is going viral. I forget his name, right? And he's talking about he did an exorcism on a lady, and she said that she had this disease, and they exorcised a demon. Her husband asked her, and she said, "Yeah, I didn't think you was gonna marry me if I told you I had this." It's crazy, bro. If you know how many women are damaged goods out here, as far as they got, shit they can't get rid of, bro. They having sex at an alarming rate, bro. And they creating these problems, and they're blaming the man, and society is conditioning people that the man is the problem. And even when you're a young kid and you thinking like the man is the problem, when you start living and you become a teenager and you see the effect of blaming men for everything, and women have no responsibility, even when a relationship go wrong, or I did a video where y'all see where I talk about broken homes and how it's automatically the man's fault for the broken homes, even though most women know they friends ain't shit. And they know they friends plot on the nigga or did something, or they was the problem, and it's still in society saying it's still a man's fault. Are you shocked that a lot of young guys have never approached a woman, let alone slept with a woman? Are you surprised that a lot of the guys that are approaching women, they're going overseas, moving out the country? Because whatever you do, you're blamed for it. We done seen people in situations in this country who the baby wasn't theirs and they proved it wasn't theirs, but the system still make them pay child support for a child that wasn't theirs. It's, you know, at the end of the day, nobody see what's wrong in this country. Nobody see the whoop-de-blam. But the main thing I'm harping on is the obsession with money. When you start putting money over children, that is scary. That is scary. But I hit the link in the description join the Patreon. Peace. You know what's crazy is that the women's love and with their obsession for money. You know, and that's a wild thing about it. Women have this obsession with money that is starting to become scary, man. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, I did the video about the lady on site on Instagram. They had reposted her saying that if your partner, you pregnant and your partner passes away, are you keeping the baby? In the comment section, go look at the end of my video. At the very, very end, past the last video, I, screenshotted the comments. So go on site and find that post on Instagram and look at the comment section. And what was very scary is that how a lot of women were associating their children to money. One woman said, "Oh, did the kid get left in inheritance?" Their obsession with money is just so wild, bro. It is so wild. Their obsession with money is so wild. It's like they think, how many times we seen women come on here and say, "Would you rather have the man or the money?" And they pick the money. I'd rather have the money. I'd rather have the money. It has become scary. Everybody's talking about the American women or the women in the West dating standards and how, and I was going to do a video talking about, I feel like I talked about this before. I guess it'd be a part, whatever, where women are saying that they will want to live in a house, separate house from their husband. They don't want to live with a man, but he got to pay all the bills for both houses. And, or a guy got to cash app them or Zelle them to go out on a date. Everybody is so fixated on some of the outlandish things that these women are saying, but nobody is really associating that everything they're talking about that has to do with if they hit the wall, if they still young, they still in their prime, everything they're still being associated with, factually speaking, is about money. And when it comes to your children, and the money is more important than having a father figure or having the biological father and building and giving your children a nuclear household, you can't tell me that that's not demonic. When they sat there and they tried to vote they voted on the strength of to do genocide to their own community. But then they sit here and they make these videos talking about black women are the only race loyal women. But how are you race loyal and you're committing modern day genocide? I'm just asking a question. At an alarming rate, no other woman is close to touching them at an alarming rate. And as a people, we make up 13% of the population. I'm guesstimating that black women probably make up 7 or 8% of that when it comes to black men. So y'all don't find that scary? Is that the two things that they're championing is abort missions and money, and I need money for a kid. I'd rather have the man than the money. And then they go out here and they get they raise these children and they complain about them. They don't want to work. They don't have discipline. They don't have structure. They don't have emotional discipline or know how to regulate their emotions. Guess what? When you have a father in your life, he helps you regulate those things. He guides you. This discipline, this structure, how to save money, how to regulate those emotions, how not to get too high, how not to get too low. But it's scary, bro. It is scary when you think about it. Pay me for my time. Prostitution. You got women saying, I don't want to be a mother. I don't want to be a mother. I don't want to cook for somebody. I don't want to cook for kids. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mother. I don't want to look out for the kids. It's all about I. How selfish can you be once you start to look up the things that are synonymous with the devil? Murder, selfishness, worship, idolizing things. They idolize money. They idolize whores like Cardi B. Cardi B gets out there and just say, I don't care how many kids I can have 10 kids. A baby is not going to trap me.
Baby ain't trapping me. Bye. You think having a baby gonna trap me? A baby won't trap me. I'll leave, baby and all. We can have 10 kids. I'll leave. Take the house to the car to the dog. Take the cat. Take my and run.
So Cardi B is back and saying that, if I had 10 kids, I'll never let a baby trap me in a relationship. And this was wrong, man. A lot of people taking advice from, prostitutes and whores like hoes like Cardi B. Even before you get to talking about being trapped with a baby, even if it don't work, at least you pick the best candidate. Is he a caring guy? Does he want to be there? Is he there during your pregnancy? Did y'all have a good relationship? Do y'all, do you care for him? Do you love him? Do you make sure you eat, look out for him, make sure you're safe? Therefore, even if it doesn't work out, at least you can tell yourself, be like, you know what? He was a good dude. It didn't work out. Even from a guy, she was good. But to keep saying having all these babies and never let a baby trap me, this is what guys mean when women create broken homes. Women create broken homes. They have the final say so on having a baby or not having the baby. Simple as that. And when you go out there and you pick a candidate and you have that mindset, they don't even care about their kids. That think about that. How can they care about you and they don't care about their children?
Last question. Splitting rent 50-50, even if one partner makes significantly more money.
Go off. That's not my business. Ooh. That is not my business. That business does not concern me.
It's to each its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've
if you
seen
like
it
it,
work.
I love it. Yeah.
And I've seen it work. I've heard.
Okay. Ebony, thank you so much. We had high expectations and you've even exceeded those. We appreciate you.
You were going to be who I
great.
called now for a lot of decisions because you're the girlfriend that gives it to us straight.
Yeah, and with a lot of love. I love us. I love Black girls and women. I love Black people, but I am predisposed to Black girls and women, and I make no apology about it. And I want us to have all the things we want in our hearts. I do believe that we can have all the desires of our hearts. I don't know that we can have them all at the same time, but I do believe if we are willing to do the work and seek the counsel and actually make the adjustment, that's the key piece, because many of us get a lot of counsel and we get a lot of information and a lot of resources, but will we make the adjustment based on that? I think everything's for us.
As a man, you should understand if a woman, after 2 weeks of dating her bills are due and she's stressed out and she got things going on that she can't handle and she's overwhelmed and and she can't pay her rent on time and she needs you to pay her rent, she ain't really fucking with you for real, because women are not even bold enough to do that with I'm gonna keep it real. Okay, let me tell you something. When a woman really messes with you, she don't even want you to know her shit ain't clean right now. She gonna dress it up every time for you like it's real money. And that's the truth, okay?
For real.
That's the fact.
For
you
real.
ain't never gonna know she has problems. You know how many men I was in full relationships where my shit was in shambles and he thought that I was the best thing smoking? Didn't even know?
Pause real quick. We gotta let that simmer. And she was talking real fast. You talk fast. Was you one of the Bone Thugs?
I was.
That was Chicken Bone.